Hello, my name is Angelica Corral, and we have a wonderful doctor, Dr. Murray, who's here to talk about himself. We're excited on meeting him, and after he speaks, Georgina Salgado will speak. But so far, we have Dr. Murray, and I'm so excited to hear about what you have to say about all that you've been doing, Dr. Murray.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to just introduce myself again. I'm Dr. Murray Smith. I am a natural health doctor. I'm a chiropractor, I'm an acupuncturist, and I've been doing functional medicine or as a functional medicine doctor for about 30 years right now. And I've really, though I've covered in my practice a whole wide range of health issues such as difficult thyroid issues, difficult digestive issues. I've really honed my practice down now to primarily helping people who have cancer and supporting them, and then also helping people in cancer prevention. So that's really kind of the thrust of what I'm doing, and probably will spend the rest of my career doing.
Wow,
That's wonderful.
That's so impressive. Now, let me ask you a question. Why did you got into this? Since now Chiquis introduced myself, my name is Georgina Zacada Chavez. I'm a physician as well, and I just specialize in hormonal balance, mainly right now in diabetes type 2. All right. So, but now let me ask you something, Dr. Murray. Why you are doing what you're doing? Why did it bring you into this situation? Because cancer, it sounds like a little sad, a little harsh in everybody. But why cancer? I know something else.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it comes from personal experience. I was diagnosed with a stage 3 metastatic melanoma. That's a malignant skin cancer, and also an advanced prostate cancer. And when I went to my oncologist, so I had some really great care, but was sent to this oncologist, and I walked into my oncologist who told me that essentially food has nothing to do with cancer, stress has nothing to do with cancer, sun has nothing to do with cancer. And I just thought, wow, this is incredible. This is my guy. And so I thought, well, I'm going to hear out what he has to say. But what I do know from my experience of having helped people for over 30 years with cancer is that that's not true. Okay, that those things, the American College of Oncology would disagree with him. And in fact, after the appointment, I looked that up and found out that, yeah, indeed, they did disagree with him. And the end of my appointment, well, the whole appointment was basically centered around scaring me about my cancer. And I thought, well, this guy's not very optimistic, And at the end of this, I said, okay, I'm considering what his options were. And he asked me, or I asked him, okay, great. I understand what you're saying. What can I do for myself? And he put his hands behind his head and he leaned back and he smiled and said, there's not a thing you can do, which I already knew wasn't true because of what my patients had experienced for such a long time. So I came home and my wife's a doctor as well. And we started looking at this and we started thinking, gosh, is this what people are hearing? Okay. Is this what happens to them when they go to the doctor? It's no wonder they're afraid, because not only are they when they go in there, it's already scary to have a diagnosis. You could have a stomach ache and it's sort of scary to go in there. When you go in there and you've already been told you have cancer, okay, and then they spend most of the visit almost on terrorizing you, and then at the end give you absolutely no hope. Okay, I thought, I want nothing to do with that. Okay. Now, I don't make any decisions for any of my clients that says, here's what you should do as far as your cancer treatments. It doesn't matter if you do chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy, whatever, I can still work with you. Okay. But what we do is we look at what can you do for yourself. Okay. And that's really why I do what I do, because and my wife as well. We're a team, and we work to help people with that. So
that's good. That's very good. Chiquis?
That's wonderful. So my question is, have there been any experiences where you have been able to help a great multitude of people? I think you told me one time that you volunteered or
well, you know what I mean, my experience, my personal experience, a couple things. With regard to the cancer, my personal experiences, I have been clear to my now been clear to my stage 3 metastatic melanoma. My oncologist, my new oncologist, says don't know what you did, but it's gone. Okay, and on my prostate, it's significantly better. It's almost, I hate to say almost perfect, but getting there. Okay, and so but I've had a lot of different experiences that have really helped me understand. You could say the human condition, to really look at some devastating disease. I know Georgina talked about diabetes. I had we had one of the top 2% practices in the country, and I gave it away to go serve in a part of the United States that the Verizon doesn't even claim to cover. Okay, very remote Native American reservation. And what I did was setting up a natural health care program in their clinics, and they were really their care was not very good. Okay, and so we really set up something that was a lot more congruent with their culture, a lot more congruent with overall health, and doing it naturally. And so I set up, I within these 3 clinics that they had, I set up a natural health care program, and then expanded that to set up 2 extra clinics that were primarily focused on natural health and totally. And so it was very successful. I would tell you, it is very rough and tumble, very stressful in that situation, but hugely needed. And I've also had experience dealing with, I worked with autistic kids. I used to be a broker. A friend of mine had an accident. I worked with multiple handicapped kids and autistic kids for about 2.5 years. So I've had these great experiences that really helped me understand, the difficult situations people can be in. But at all times, it's also given me a sense of hope. So.
Because that's what people are losing. Hope, actually.
No, I was just going to say that's great. Good. And back to you, Georgina.
Well, let me ask you something. What did make you different, your treatments, from anybody else that they're in, holistic medicine, naturopathic medicine, or whatever you want, natural medicine, period? What did make you different, you from them?
You know what? Probably focus. I mean, we have, so what we've done is we've created a proprietary process. Okay, it's a 3-pronged process. We go through this process. It's really discovery, revitalization, and then energize. Okay, and so part of the discovery phase, we have a lot of patients. Most of our patients come to us with, if we're in cancer support, they're coming to us with a pretty healthy file of different types of tests that have been done. So we gain a lot of information for that, and surprisingly, they haven't looked at it functionally, which says you can have this big tumor and you've got your blood value for acid says whatever. Okay, but what we do is we do what's called a metabolic approach. We go in, we're doing very, very detailed, very comprehensive panels that help us tear this apart and really get down into the
problem, right?
Yeah, very right. Pinpointing the problem. We're deep diving into the problem. We want to discover what the problem is. Okay, and that's just that alone is heavily different. There's very few practitioners that are playing at that level, and then from there we've gone even a step further in really customizing a highly customized solution to the problem. For instance, if my twin brother had exactly the same problem I had, okay, he would need something that's more specific to him than to me, okay? And so that's what we do. It's highly customized, and which is probably why we get the results that we're getting, okay? And then we don't leave it there, because I have had patients who we have taken out of this horrible situation. We've helped them help themselves get there. Okay, so it's about teaching them how to do that. Now, part of the assumption there is that once you learn how to do this, what should you do? Keep doing it, right? Keep doing something that keeps you from going there. And I've had patients come back with remissions. Okay, that this came on back, right? And you know why it came on back? Because they went back and they did many of the same things that got them into this situation in the first place. Or things that will exacerbate: drinking, smoking, being in toxic environments. I mean, it's incredible that you can learn, you can actually get out of, or you can basically learn all of these things and then go backwards. So what we want to do is we want to get to people where they are and then energize them and engage them in continuing these changes that will really have added years to their life. I mean, truly added years to their life. Okay, both in magnitude of how good it is and magnitude of how long it is. So it's really life changing. So
the Mexicans will say, greater problems, greater solutions, right?
Right. You bet.
Bring the Mexican into it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So it sounds like you are doing some wonderful things where you're at. How can we get the word out to more people so that they can know about what you have, so they can also learn what you've have to share?
Yeah. So we're just setting up right now. We're doing a nationwide. Now we have patients. We really have patients globally right now. We have patients all over the United States. We have patients in Canada. We have them in Mexico. We have patients in Norway, Italy, Uganda, and Peru. And so we're kind of all over the place. And in each country, it depends upon where we're at. But we're really focusing on a nationwide release right now of expanding this. They can go into a website that has kind of functioned as our landing page for connecting people with our practice, our brick and mortar practice that we have in town, but for our telemed patients, okay, that's really, most of the people that are hearing this are going to do telemed. So we have a telemed practice which allows them to be at home. We can do all the testing or ordering for testing. We can do everything like that from there. But they go to askdrsmith.com, askdrsmith.com, and they can go on there and there'll be a button that says cancer support and one that says cancer prevention. And depending upon which one you're looking for and what level you need to play at, okay, then you can just push a button and it'll take you to a page that'll actually direct you in the direction that you want to go.
That's excellent.
Yeah, so it's askdrsmith.com.
Okay, so we need to jot that one down. Thank you so much. Back to you, Georgina.
Well, if there's anything we gotta do to prevent, give us one tip. The last thing that you gotta do here, give us one tip that can help us to prevent cancer. What would that be?
You know what? If I were to do one tip, I right out of the gate, I would say, hey, let's drop your sugar and carbohydrate usage to almost a minimum, because it will help. You can kill a bunch of birds with one stone with that. Okay, because it's not exactly straightforward to say sugar causes cancer, for instance, because you can be doing protein that could do that too. But as a whole, your refined sugars will also help with something that we had talked about with Georgina just briefly, was diabetes. Okay, and working with that. I mean, that on the reservation we saw a ton of that. So I would say that would be, if I could do a short version. Hey, let's just do this one thing, and you highly improve your situation for a lot of different things. I'd probably cut refined sugars. If you cut them out, you cut your carbohydrates tremendously down. You can help yourself out, incredibly by doing that one thing.
Okay. Well, anything else, Chiquis, that you want to ask him?
I think I think I'm going to try Ask Dr. Smith and press that button.
All right.
You just press the button where you want to go. But
the button.
One of the things that people have to remember, everything is about prevention too. People don't realize how important it is to prevent, cancer, prevent diabetes, prevent anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you get there and you have the disease, what happens? It's harder to reverse it. So when you are before that, that's what I tell a lot of my patients. You got to do it before. That way you can get ahead of it. You can get ahead of it. And when you're ahead of it, nothing can hurt you anymore. Yeah,
no kidding. I mean, I think that's exactly right. It's exactly right. And keeping your heads up. I mean, I can tell you that I've eaten organically for 35 years. I do a lot of things really well that I recommend my patients do in helping themselves get well. The one thing I didn't monitor that I really just sort of felt like I was Iron Man with was managing stress. And I was in a very, very toxic environment for about 7 years. And so for me, that was my Achilles heel, and I didn't see it coming. I mean, I didn't see it coming. So that's one of the things that we just, folks being aware can save your life. Being aware can save your life. So, yeah.
Good. Any last question, Chiquis? Any last thoughts here, Chiquis?
I think I've heard quite a bit from the doctor, and I probably will have a last question and many more, but I'll be sure to press that Ask Dr. Smith question button.
Yes.
Push the button. Yeah.
That's great. Well, from me as well, thank you very much for you coming in here and helping us out with, with all these answers to cancer, because cancer is very, very important. So, thank you very much. And we're going to be doing this quite often, and we're going to give a lot of tips to people. That way they can come back and see us,
Right.
enjoy the program. We're going to give a lot of value as well. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much. Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.